Hello children, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to learn about electrolysis, the second part. In this part mainly we will discuss about the mechanism of electrolysis. Before this I have already uploaded a video in which you can find the general terms and the common terms which are used in electrolysis. But today we are going to learn the mechanism of electrolysis. In this mainly we are going to learn about the electrolytic dissociation and ionization, the migration of ions and the discharge of ions, selective discharge of ions. Before starting the class, let me remind you to subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon, because if you don't hit the bell icon, you may not get the recent notification about my uploads. So children, let us start our lesson. First of all, we will discuss about the theory of electrolytic dissociation. This theory was given by one of the Swedish scientists, Arrhenius. He gave the theory about electrolytic dissociation. The different important points of this theory are: the first one, an electrolyte on dissolving in water dissociates into free mobile ions. That means when we dissolve an electrolyte in water, it produces free mobile ions. Second one, as all ions carry positive or negative charged particles, they are responsible for the conduction of electricity in the electrolyte. The conductivity of electrolyte depends upon the concentration of the ions present in the solution. The number of positive charges always is equal to the number of negative charges, and thus they maintain a balance between the number of positive charge and number of negative charge. In non-electrolyte, there is no mobile ions, and that is why they cannot conduct electricity. So these are the main points of Arrhenius theory of electrolytic dissociation. Nowadays, we are using the same theory with some modification, which is known as the modern concept of electrolytic dissociation. Whenever we say electrolysis, it involves three main steps. Step 1, the first step is furnishing free mobile ions. That means the first step is mobile ions are produced in the first step. Then second one, these ions migrate towards the electrode, that is migration of ions. And the third one, these ions by losing or gaining electron, they are discharged at the electrode. So one by one we will see. First step is the electrolytic dissociation or furnishing ions in the electrolyte. So here there are two processes in which we get the free mobile ions during electrolysis. The first one is electrolytic dissociation and the second one is ionization. So one by one we will see how we are obtaining free mobile ions in electrolysis. First one, dissociation. You can see in electrovalent compounds, the ions are present, and these ions, oppositely charged ions, they are firmly attached to each other, strongly attracted towards itself, towards each other, and that is why a strong bond, electrovalent bond, exists between the ions, oppositely charged ions, and thus the ions are present but they are not free to move. Let us take the example of sodium chloride molecules. Sodium chloride, it consists of two oppositely charged ions. One is Na plus, the other one is Cl minus. Now when you put this sodium chloride in water, then you can find these ions, after dissolving in water, the ions are separated from each other. It is because of one of the property of water that is known as dielectric constant, which make the bond between the two ions weak, and thus they are separated from each other. After they are separated from each other, now they become free and mobile, and they move around in all directions in the electrolyte. So now these ions are mobile ions, free to move, and they are moving in the electrolyte. So this process is known as electrolytic dissociation. So if we say what is electrolytic dissociation, then you can find it is the separation of ions in an ionic compound to obtain free mobile ions when this ionic compound is dissolved in water. The same process you can see when we heat the ionic compound. By absorbing the heat energy, the ions are separated from each other, and they becomes free, they becomes mobile, and this process is known as dissociation. Here you can see sodium chloride dissociates and give Na plus and Cl minus. Now the next process is ionization. Ionization occurs in polar covalent compounds. Let us take one example, hydrogen chloride, which is a polar covalent compound. Now when we dissolve hydrogen chloride, the construction you can see, hydrogen and chlorine share one electron with each other, and that form the bond pair of electron. You can see here the bond pair of electron is shown here in the diagram. So this bond pair of electron, it is contributed equally by hydrogen and chlorine. That is, one electron is from hydrogen and one electron from chlorine, and thus they becomes polar covalent compound. Now this polar covalent compound, when it is added to water, then you can find the hydrogen and chlorine are separated from each other. But the problem is, chlorine being more electronegative, it takes both the electron of the bond pair electron, and the bond pair of electron completely shifts towards chlorine, and they obtain a negative charge, and thus H plus ion and Cl minus ion are formed when it is dissolved in water. So this process is known as ionization. So ionization, you can say, it is the process in which a polar covalent compound produce ions, forms ions when it is dissolved in water. So let us take a quick look about dissociation versus ionization. Dissociation, when we say, it is separation of ions which are already present in an ionic compound. In ionic compounds, even in the solid state, you can find the ions. So they are merely separated, simply they are separated from each other. On the other hand, you can find formation of positive or negative ions from molecules, from polar covalent molecules, which are not initially present. In a polar covalent compound, molecules are present, ions are not present. But during the process of ionization, you can find molecules are converted into ions, and this process is known as ionization. Electrolytic dissociation, it occurs in electrovalent compounds. Electrovalent compound shows dissociation. On the other hand, polar covalent compound shows ionization. So either by dissociation or by ionization, we obtain free mobile ions after dissolving the substance in water, or sometimes by melting. On melting, we get free mobile ions, and that makes the first step of electrolysis. Once we get free mobile ions, the second step is migration of ions. The ions are migrated to the respective electrode. You can find here, when the two electrodes are connected, after getting the ions, the two electrodes are connected to the terminal of a battery. You can see here the two electrodes are connected to the terminal of the battery. Once they are connected, then all the positive ions, they move towards the negative electrode, which is known as the cathode. Okay, you can see in the diagram, all positive ions, they move towards the cathode. On the other hand, the negative ions, all the negative ions, they move towards the positive electrode, which is known as anode. In the diagram, you can see the negative charge ions are moving towards the positive electrode known as anode. So this is the migration of ions. The last step of electrolysis is discharge of ions. That is, the ions, either by losing electron or gaining electron, they become neutral, and that is known as the discharge of ions. So after reaching the electrodes, these ions are discharged. For example, at cathode you can find, suppose in the case of lead bromide, what we took now, Pb2 plus ion, it receives 2 electrons at the cathode and becomes Pb. And at the anode, bromide ion receives 1 electron to form bromine atom, neutral bromine atom. This is known as discharge of ions. So now, if there is only one positive ion and only one negative ion, then there is no problem. The positive ion will move towards the anode and it will be discharged there, and the negative ion will move towards the cathode and it will be discharged there. But when 2 or more ions of the same charge are present in a solution, then what happens? Which ion will be discharged? So it is determined by the preferential or selective discharge of ion. When there are 2 or more ions of the same charge in a solution of electrolyte, all of them migrate towards the respective electrode. If it is positive, then they will move towards the cathode, and if it is negative, then it will move towards the anode. But preferentially or selectively, only one ion is discharged. This is known as preferential discharge of ions. So children, preferential discharge of ions, it depends upon 3 factors. Factor number 1, relative position of ions in the electrochemical series. Factor number 2, the relative concentration of ions. And factor number 3, the nature of the electrode. These are the 3 factors on which the preferential discharge of ions depends. So let us discuss one by one. First of all, the relative position in the electrochemical series. Now let me tell you what is an electrochemical series. Electrochemical series of ion is the arrangement of ions in the increasing ease of being discharged at the electrodes. So for positive ion, we will get one electrochemical series. You can see on the screen. This is the electrochemical series for the cations of the positive ion. Potassium at the top, then calcium, sodium, magnesium and so on, and gold and platinum at the bottom. For negative ions also, we can see electrochemical series. You can see here sulfate ion at the top and hydroxide ion at the bottom. So using these 2 electrochemical series, we can find out which ion will be selectively discharged. So here you can find in the decreasing order, increasing ease of being discharged at the electrode. That means you can see lower the position of the ion in the electrochemical series, more easily it get discharged at the electrode. And higher the position in the electrochemical series, it will be difficult for the ion to be discharged. So children, let us take the example. Suppose in a solution there is sodium ion and copper ion. Sodium, you can see it is having a higher position in the electrochemical series. So what we can say that copper ion will be selectively discharged because it is having a lower position. The ions which are having lower position will be discharged easily. Similarly, negative ion you see, suppose nitrate ion and hydroxide ions are present. Then hydroxide ion, it is having a lower position in the electrochemical series. So hydroxide ions will be discharged at the anode. Okay. So this is the electrochemical series. The position will determine which ion is going to be discharged at the electrode. Let us take one example. Let us take the electrolysis of copper sulfate solution. When electrolysis of copper sulfate solution you see, first of all the electrolytic dissociation, you can find copper sulfate dissociates into copper ion, cupric ion and sulfate ion, and water dissociates into H plus ion and OH minus ion. Here you can see there are two positive ions, copper ion and H plus ion, and two negative ion, sulfate ion and hydroxide ion. At cathode, you can find which ion will be discharged? Copper ion will be discharged. It will be preferentially discharged as compared to hydrogen ion because copper ion is having a lower position in the electrochemical series. So copper ion will receive 2 electrons, Cu2 plus 2 electron, and it gives copper atom, neutral copper atom, which will be deposited at the cathode. At the anode, there are two ions, both hydroxides and sulfate ion will migrate towards the anode, but preferentially hydroxide ion will be discharged. You can see here hydroxide ion, by receiving 1 electron, it gives OH, which is not stable and undergo a secondary chemical change. 4 OH will combine and it will give 2 water molecule and 1 oxygen molecule. So oxygen is the final product at the anode. The next factor on which the preferential discharge of ion depends is concentration of ion. Higher the concentration of the ion, more easily it will be discharged at the electrode. Let us take the example of electrolysis of sodium chloride solution. When we take sodium chloride solution, let us take concentrated sodium chloride solution. So when we take concentrated sodium chloride solution, in the electrolyte the ions present, the positive ions present are sodium ion and H plus ion, and the negative ions present in the electrolyte are chloride ion and hydroxide ion. So at the cathode, both H plus ion and Na plus ion, they move towards the cathode, but at the cathode preferentially H plus ion is discharged because of the position in the electrochemical series. But at the anode you can see the difference. When we take concentrated solution of sodium chloride, then both chloride ion and hydroxide ion migrates towards the anode, but preferentially Cl minus will be discharged. Though it is having a higher position in the electrochemical series, still Cl minus ion is discharged at the anode. It is because of the higher concentration of Cl minus ion. Thus, what we can say, if there are two ions present, two ions of the same charge present in the electrolytic solution, then the ions with the higher concentration will be discharged preferentially at the electrode. The third factors on which the selective discharge of ion depends is nature of the electrode. So dear student, I want to tell you there are two types of electrodes. One is active electrode, which are copper, nickel, silver, all these are known as active electrode. and the second one is inert electrode like graphite and platinum. Inert electrode do not react with the electrolyte, but the active electrode, they take part in the chemical change which occur in the electrolyte during electrolysis. So let us take one example. In the electrolysis of copper sulfate solution, if you take platinum electrode, then copper Cu2 plus and H plus will move towards the cathode and Cu2 plus will be deposited, and similarly sulfate ion and OH minus ion will move towards the anode, and at the anode OH minus ion will be discharged. But if we change the electrode, mainly the anode, instead of inert platinum, when we use active electrode, copper electrode, then OH minus ion, sulfate ion will not be discharged at the cathode. Instead, the anode dissolves into the solution and forms Cu2 plus ion. So, the reaction at the anode will be copper gives copper ion by losing 2 electrons. So, this is how when we change the electrode, then the product also changes. So, my dear student, these are the mechanism of electrolysis. In the next video, I will upload some of the examples, common examples of electrolysis. And till then, have a good day. Thanks for watching. And if you find these videos useful for you, please like, comment and share. Thank you.